Hey guys, in today's video I will be doing a tropical update, and today's tropical update is somewhat of a special one in a way because we now officially have Tropical Storm Epsilon in the western central tropical Atlantic. And it just formed earlier today. It formed it was officially, became an official tropical depression, I want to say, at the 8 a.m. advisory this morning, and then officially became Tropical Storm Epsilon at 11 a.m. I believe that's what happened. But as of right now, as of the 5 p.m. advisory, the newest advisory that just came out almost an hour ago, Epsilon is now at 45 miles per hour for a maximum sustained winds. Its central pressure is now down to 998 millibars, and its movement is nearly stationary. So it's really like not moving at all, staying in the same general place. Now there is, I just want to direct your attention real quick to just talk about this other disturbance NHC is monitoring in the northwestern Caribbean Sea that only has a 10% chance of formation within the next two to 5 days. And this system does not look to form into anything whatsoever, so there's no reason to at all panic or worry about the system. It doesn't seem at this point. We did earlier last week especially. We did start to really try to monitor the system really closely, and not really pay too much attention to this system, which coincidentally instead of this one into our next named storm. But last week we were monitoring this system because it looked like it could become, according to some of the models, especially the GFS, it could potentially form into a major tropical system and become a major coastal storm for the East Coast and the Northeast. But that has long since gone into memory of the models, and they have long since also have changed to showing really nothing all that dramatic occurring, especially that kind of a system. So now let's look at what the NHC's current forecast cone is of Epsilon. It's the newest forecast cone, just came out with the new advisory at 5 p.m. With Epsilon, they've ever since they put out their first forecast cone, have Epsilon strengthening into a hurricane by towards early afternoon, around 2 p.m. on Wednesday, and could actually strengthen into a strong Category 1, maybe even Category 2 hurricane, according to the National Hurricane Center. And it looks like it will somewhat brush by Bermuda to the east and get curved out to sea because of another cold front that will sweep through the eastern U.S. into the Atlantic and pull this one away from any major land areas, especially the U.S. And so this one will also once again be a fish storm like we've seen so many of this year's hurricane season. Even though not to say that this year's hurricane season has definitely been a very, very active and very crazy hurricane season, at least majority of the tropical systems weren't too terrible or too strong and didn't cause too much problems to people's lives. So that is a good thing to come out of this year's hurricane season, unlike the 2005 Atlantic hurricane season, which this hurricane season, I gotta say, has been pretty comparable to, especially since, of course, this is the first hurricane season since that hurricane season 2005 that we've gotten into the Greek alphabet. So there's that. But yeah, there's Epsilon, and looks to strengthen into a hurricane by Wednesday, about midday on Wednesday in the early afternoon. So that'll be interesting to watch and see just how quickly really it strengthens between now and then. So that is what the current forecast cone from the National Hurricane Center is looking like for Epsilon. The current tropical storm force wind speed probabilities for Epsilon have Bermuda has about anywhere between a 60 to 70% chance of tropical storm force winds, so they'll likely see some pretty windy conditions as Epsilon moves by to the east. Probably windy conditions, maybe some lighter rain, and probably definitely kicked up surf. So getting towards Wednesday, Thursday, Bermuda, your weather won't be that great to like be outdoors or do anything outdoors that much, but it shouldn't be terrible. I gotta say, I don't think it will be terrible. I think it'll just be generally a nuisance more than a big problem. Now here's the just to show you the 58 mile per hour wind speed probabilities. Bermuda is around a 30% chance of getting 58 mile per hour wind speeds. And the hurricane force wind speed probabilities, Bermuda now has anywhere between a 10 to 20% chance of hurricane force wind speed probabilities, but you can see the wind speed probabilities go all the way up towards, even in that yellow, 30 to 40% chance of hurricane force wind speed probabilities. So this tropical system is starting to look more and more like it may actually attain hurricane force wind speeds, getting especially, of course, towards midweek this week. The arrival time, earliest reasonable arrival time of tropical storm force winds for Bermuda look to be around late Wednesday evening, around 9 p.m. So, yeah, especially Wednesday night, Wednesday evening into Wednesday night for you guys in Bermuda, doesn't look to be that nice of conditions. So you might want to just stay inside that night and not really venture outdoors too much around that time. All right, now let's go to tropical tidbits. And let's take a look at what Epsilon's looking like on the satellite imagery. And well, we got to let it load in first, but there you can see a satellite imagery for Epsilon. It's looking pretty good, honestly. Got some decent spin on it. Definitely got decent spin with it, and also has some pretty decent convection blowing up around the center now as well, which is shows signs of it getting healthier and potentially trying to get stronger, and it's definitely looking pretty good for a tropical storm out in that region of the Atlantic. And general convection is blowing up around the center and then up to the north of the center and around the east of the center. So it's a fairly decently formed tropical system, as you can see. Let me zoom out here actually just a bit, because just in a moment we'll be going to the forecast model, so I want you guys to have a little better look at a little bit wider outlook at what the forecast models are showing for Epsilon. Now, the hurricane model track guidance are all in great agreement that they have Epsilon continuing towards generally the north and west, and then curving out towards the north and east once that front picks it up and brings it out to sea. And then, of course, here's the GEFS ensemble model track guidance. Also agrees with the general hurricane model track guidance, taking it being brought out to the north and east because of that front and a cold front, and generally going to the north and west between now and then, passing by Bermuda as well. And then, of course, here's as well, lastly, the GEPS ensemble model track guidance also agrees with the previous two model track guidances I've just shown you. And now, big important thing, especially for the system, here's the current model intensity guidance forecast. This is the 18Z run for Epsilon. And you can see that all of the models have it in tropical storm status, and all of them have it continuing to strengthen, and a majority have Epsilon reaching hurricane status, and a majority keep it at Category 1 status. There is the one model, I think that's the ship model, I want to say that's the ship model, I think, that takes it all the way into Category 2, even potentially right around Category 3 status, and then weakening it as we get towards 7 days out from now, like all the rest of the models are showing. So definitely looks like it will get to hurricane status, at least Category 1, and there's not even out of the question that it could get to Category 2 status, and maybe even Category 3 status, who knows. But definitely, I think for sure, for me, I think definitely Epsilon will become, at most, I think, a Category 1, maybe 2 hurricane. And of course, it's generally going to be a fish storm, not really impacting too many land areas, Bermuda at the most, and I think even Bermuda will see generally light impacts from the system. Maybe just kind of a nuisance rainy day, I'd say, a windy rainy day, a nuisance windy rainy day for them in Bermuda, but I don't foresee them getting too major of impacts from Epsilon. Oh, the 18Z run has just started coming in for the GFS, so let's let's see how far this will let me take it out. Where should I just go to the North Atlantic? Yeah, let's go to the North Atlantic. Why not? All right. So let me zoom this in actually a little bit for you guys. You can probably tell where Epsilon is. It's right here. as I move this forward out in time, you can see that it continues to the north and west, and you can see the pressure. The JFS shows it getting stronger with that pressure dropping and then passing to the to the east of Bermuda. Generally, probably brings some probably very intermittent, very scattered, isolated amounts of rain showers. Most likely, generally, Bermuda will see a pretty windy day going towards Wednesday, Thursday, and maybe even Friday as well, with some very enhanced surf. So beaches won't be all that nice to attend to the going towards the middle to end of the work week. That is the farthest the 18Z run is letting me go out as of right now. So let's go to the 12Z run, and let's bring this out farther so you can see that GFS again shows it going to the well to the east of Bermuda and then getting pulled out to sea by a weaker kind of cold front with not too much precipitation, but it gets pulled out to sea from there, and then becomes. I want to show you this actually. Let me zoom this out and bring my screen kind of curved over a bit and show you that you can see if you look just to the north, just to the very top of your screen, to the very north of your screen, the very northern part of your screen. Yeah, I will say that for now because why not? You can see that there's that system that was Epsilon becomes an extremely powerful extratropical cyclone, and really impacts Iceland. It looks like Iceland and the very northern parts of the UK is a very, very powerful extratropical cyclone. That's very interesting. You don't typically, see that from what forecast models are showing for that kind of thing. So that's very interesting to see that forecast model showing that. So here's the CMC model, and let's let this load in. First, it's taking a while. It's kind of annoying. I'm gonna, let's see, reload the page. What does that do? Let's try this again. Huh. This is taking a very long time to load. I'm not sure why. That's not good. You know what? I'm gonna go to Travel Tidbits off of Google Chrome and see how much that works out. See how much better that works out. Oh man, doesn't look like I'll be able to show you guys the other models. That's not okay. Oh wait, hold on. It's loading in. Seems to be loading in. Trying to. Let's give it a minute here. Let's give it a minute here. I mean, you can see there's Epsilon there, right in the middle of your screen there, kind of generally where the GFS was showing it. But, man, it's really not, it doesn't want to load in for me. It's very annoying. Apologize about this, guys. I don't know what's going on with it. Well, that's not good. Well, alright. I guess that's what I can show you with the forecast models, unfortunately. Maybe we'll come back to it in a few minutes. But here's the 2020 Atlantic Hurricane Season's Wikipedia page. And, well, let me zoom this out for you guys so you can see it better. Yeah, so far total this season, we've had a total of 27 depressions, 26 total storms, making it the second most active Atlantic hurricane season on a record, right behind the 2005 Atlantic hurricane season. We've got a total of 9 hurricanes and 3 major hurricanes so far this season, and I expect that we won't see, from this point onward to the end of the official end of the hurricane season on November 30th, that we won't see any more major hurricanes anymore after this point in the season. Epsilon will become, I think, likely our last hurricane of the season, I want to say. There's an outside chance maybe we'll see one more hurricane during the rest of the remainder of the actual hurricane season, but I think Epsilon will be our very last hurricane of the season, so I think the rest of the hurricane season we'll just see some weaker, short-lived tropical systems being named and form before the hurricane season finally ends. But total fatalities so far this hurricane season, we've had a total of 151. So We've seen a decent amount of people lose their lives so far this season. Very unfortunate. And total damage thus far this season is at above $32.967 billion in damage. And actually, not Epsilon, what am I saying? Delta caused. By the way, actually, real quick, Epsilon became the record earliest 26th named storm on record, forming today, beating Delta of 2005 that formed on November 22nd of 2005. And now that I've told you guys that, Delta's total damage is still coming in, and now Delta's caused at least $5 billion total in damage. I expected that, and I expect that to maybe go up still a little bit more. I think Delta's total damage was just up around $10 billion, I think, in total damage. They're still trying to figure out how much total damage Gamma has caused, but Gamma killed 7 people, Delta killed 6 people. Depending on how close Epsilon gets to Bermuda, because of especially the high surf, I think maybe a few people could lose their lives because of that. But let's hope not, of course. Yeah, that's we've had a total of 27 systems, counting Tropical Depression 10 earlier in the season that formed at the very end of July into the very early days of August, very early couple days of August, very first couple days of August, that did not become a named system. So we've had a total of 27 systems, total of 26 actual named storms, tropical systems. We are on to Epsilon, the 5th named storm on the Greek alphabet list. We are already well into the Greek alphabet list. It's crazy. I mean, I did not think I'd be alive, especially this early on in my life, to witness a hurricane season, especially in the Atlantic, to be almost as active as the 2005 Atlantic hurricane season. Of course, definitely not in terms of total fatalities or total damage that the 2005 Atlantic hurricane season caused, just in terms of total amount of named tropical activity. The next name on the list is Zeta. That's the Greek alphabet name that we got to in 2005. So if we get Zeta at whatever point in time, we'll tie 2005 for the record for tying 2005 of how many total named storms we've gotten and record total amount of named storms we've gotten this season. And then I think by the end of the season we could in fact get through Iota. So we'd have a total of 9 named Greek alphabet storms. So that'd be quite historic and definitely beat 2005's total amount of Atlantic hurricane season named storms. So that'd be truly crazy too. That'd be truly crazy in the end. That's really mind-blowing, honestly. But yeah, that's it for today's video, guys. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Really hope you found it informative, enjoyable. This has been my update on what is now Tropical Storm Epsilon that just formed earlier this morning. And again, hopefully you guys really enjoyed this video. I will be continuing to do updates on Epsilon as we go throughout the rest of this week until it finally dissipates or becomes extratropical. Going towards the end of this week, I guess, into this weekend or into early next week, however long it decides to last. Depending on in any case, however long it decides to last for, however long its lifespan is, I will continue to give you guys daily updates on Epsilon and how strong it's getting and potentially its dangers towards Bermuda, especially. Because other than Bermuda, it's generally just a fish storm that won't really be impacting any land areas. So again, hopefully you guys really enjoyed this video. Hopefully you found it enjoyable, informative. If you did, please consider liking the video, commenting on the video. And if you're a first-time viewer and you liked what you saw in today's video, if you liked this kind of content, this kind of tropical content, I do tons of this kind of content on my channel. So if you like that kind of content, please consider subscribing to my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.